Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is our Simple Abundance year with Sarah Ban Breathnach's book, Simple Abundance. Following along in her day book, it's a 365-day journey to a more balanced and joyful life this year, discussing her principles that are throughout the book. We are in the month of April 2020. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming back after that wacky last entry. I really have fun with the channel, I have to tell you, and I can laugh at myself, so it's all good. Today is April 28th, and we're finishing up our discussion on the senses, at least in this part of the book, with what is known as the sixth sense, right? The intuitive sense. This is the one that I hadn't added to my journal page with the various senses. I feel like I could probably write a whole entry on this one. What do you guys think about intuition? Is it something that you feel like you have, or that you're aware of, or that you honor? I definitely feel like when I am tuned in, so when I'm not in a state of fear or depression or anxiety, I guess would be the same as fear, but when I'm really tuned in, I do feel like my intuition or, quote unquote, gut reaction is pretty accurate. I also have experienced some things through healing where I probably am a healer, like when it comes down to it. I have been able to decipher different warmths between various things like gemstones and other things. And when I'm in a very meditative state, like if I'm having energy healing done on me, I can see colors throughout the experience. So I definitely feel like I have a sense of intuition, and I can't say that I always honor it though, and that could be a part of my whole digestive system, breaking apart basically, because maybe I'm not listening to the sense enough. I feel like I do well for a while and then fear sets in, and then I start sort of living with my head, and I'm definitely someone that lives more from the heart, but sometimes when like money and things like that get involved, and it's like you can only live on love for so long, right? I would like to believe that I could make a living on love better than I have in the past. I'll read what Sarah says. Intuition is the subliminal sense Spirit endowed us with to maneuver safely through the maze that is real life. I like that. It's only by following our deepest instinct that you can lead a rich life. And if you let your fear and consequence prevent you from following your deepest instinct, then your life will only be safe, expedient, and thin. That's a quote from Catherine Butler Hathaway. She wrote that back in 1946. Intuition tries to communicate with us in inventive ways. And I talked about the gut, and it's like follow your gut. And what does your gut tell you? There's not only your gut too. Sometimes when you're thinking about something, it may be a certain part of the body that you notice a reaction in. Could be even like, the heart pounding excitement that something brings. Or I know one time I had an amazing experience where it was like lightning bolt sort of chill moment, like definitely chills. Like when you get goosebumps about something, sometimes that can be like a message from Spirit, some would say. She says, a third intuitive nudge occurs through a revelation, the inner knowing that helps us arrive at the right place at the right time, so that we can be swept away by the benevolent flow of synchronicity that gets us where we are meant to be as easily as the universe can arrange. There's so many things that are coming to my mind after reading that sentence, because I think about, there's something called flow dreaming, and it's like you're in the flow, you know, or it's when I mentioned Abraham Hicks before, you're in alignment. Oh, didn't she also talk about earlier, she mentioned the radio, and if you were dialed to the right channel, which also reminded me of Abraham, because that is very much, they use the radio dial analogy a lot about whether or not you're on the right channel, like to catch that frequency that you're trying to pick up. She closes with, today go within and seek the wisdom and guidance of your authentic self. She steadfastly waits to speak to you through the whispers of your imagination and the glimmers of your intuition. But if you want to learn to develop this marvelous power, you must first be willing to take a leap of faith and trust it. Put it to use in little ways. Use it every day, and eventually your sixth sense will flourish and enhance your life the way the other five senses do. I guess when I was originally thinking about the senses, like she had mentioned the sixth sense very briefly in her original introduction to the senses. I was not really thinking about intuition, but it is that sixth sense that you hear about. But when I think of the senses, I think of the main five ones. So I appreciate this entry, which is giving the intuition part of things a nod. I'd love to know what you guys think. I think in some ways, believing or putting trust in intuition, it is a spiritual thing. And if you're still on the road to try to figure out where your spiritual, I don't know what else to say about alignment without saying it like that. Like if you're still trying to figure out where you're at as far as aligning with the spiritual path or presence, I don't know what she's doing, then that may be another step to, of course she has to play with that right now. That may be another step to putting this intuition puzzle piece together with all the other senses. So let me know what you think. Annabelle is now exploring the senses by playing with something loud. Thank you for being here. I hope you've enjoyed these entries about the senses. I really have myself. I think I like that we had a different entry each day about each one of them, because it really made me think, and I journaled a lot. So I think that I will really journal about this intuition one and get a sense of where I'm at right now, because I've been really disconnected. The last year has thrown me a lot of curveballs. So this is a time for me where I could really look within a bit more. And I hope that you have some time to do that yourself. Thanks as always for being here. Appreciate all your comments and likes. We're having a great year so far, as crazy as it's been. So glad that you're here. See you next time. Bye.